What's going on, everybody? This is Flash the Samurai with my brother Rakim, aka Rakimism, and this is the Project and Reflect podcast.
The podcast for creatives by creatives, and today we talked about inspiration and ego.
Yeah, man, we got a special guest today, which is a guy who's here all the time, but he's a very special guest today. We
behind
had to
the
put
camera.
we had to put the guy behind the camera in front of the camera. You know what I'm saying? Wade Saylor is here with us, and we got the chance to have a really dope conversation. So please stick around. This shit was incredible. Cool intro starts now.
So, legitimately though, what does unraveling look like? Because I feel like
I'm sure it looks different for everyone.
For everybody,
Yeah, for
but
everyone,
but unraveling can be healthy to a certain extent. Obviously, letting the reins off of something too far for anyone can be detrimental.
Right.
But I do believe wholeheartedly that anybody that is wound too tight for too long is going to get detrimental without even knowing it.
It's the too much of one thing is a bad thing.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
So that's a pretty broad question, but to kind of like simplify the answer, so there's like unraveling recreationally, and then there's probably unraveling like far more simpler is like the way that I express myself through my clothing. That's something that might have changed. I'm still known to be wearing a suit in a place where it's not necessary.
Right.
But that shit is the most annoying thing I've ever seen in my life.
Why do you have
so
a jacket?
Yeah, like why are you dressed business casual in
at
the gym? Like we not even doing shit here. Like,
but yeah, like something as simple as like piercings and tattoos. That's a form of me unraveling, expressing myself creatively as a visual aesthetic. But as far as like business, not even business, just I guess recreationally, for fun, a wild thing that I've done was trespass on somebody's pier at nighttime with a friend and like listen to music and talk.
That was the let loose.
I know that doesn't.
But listen. So to some people, that sounds absolutely outlandish.
Right.
You trespassed on somebody's property, and that's fine. Like, but again, that's why I'm kind of curious. Like, because you see some people come to the other side of that helicopter parent, come to the other side of that strict upbringing, and just fucking spiral.
yeah.
And just.
Being there to witness someone spiral is always a little wild,
Right?
because like it's just kind of like yo, this isn't you, but I can't tell you what to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't really fully tell them, yo, stop doing that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because one, you want them to learn from the experiences that they're having, but two, you don't want to be that person stifling their growth.
You just keep watching the condensation drip on my shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually really funny, actually.
I have to add though that I've been growing up in we don't call it church, but just growing up in a religious congregation meeting place. I've seen the opposite, children that had parents completely different from mine, and I've seen the path that they went down. And not saying that you either choose my type of parent or their type of parent, but I've just seen what direction and guidance and some form of really just love misplaced. Like that overbearingness is just misplaced love. I've seen what that measure of protection has done for myself and also for my mental, like the levels of decision making that I mentally have in place. I always hear my mother's direction. I always hear, the elders' direction on things, even though I'm not even in that practice or lifestyle anymore.
Right.
And then on top of that, my question to the both of y'all, being front flippers and, and groin breakers,
Groin
pullers. What would y'all say? Do you feel like you have to experience everything to learn that lesson, or is there anything that y'all would take just by seeing the example of somebody else's lifestyle?
No, because like my mom wasn't strict. She just said be home by 2 a.m. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? And
that's different.
If you're not home at 2 a.m., then there's nothing she could do for you. You know what I mean? So that meant either tonight I'm coming home or tonight I'm not. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was just.
Expand on that. Was even as like 10, 15.
Yeah, like how early did that?
Or is this 20?
That was like 17, 18.
Okay, but
16,
talk about
man.
8, 9, 10.
8, 9,
'Cause all of that bleeds into our life.
still like go out and experience, because I've taught you enough to make sound decisions for yourself. Like, you know what I mean?
Single parent household too?
Yeah, well, not necessarily. My mom and my stepdad got together when I was very young, so like he was around for most of my life. But his ideology was in line with hers.
Right.
It was more so go out and learn and trip and fall, scrape your knee, go do things so you can have these experiences, so you can make sound decisions in your life leading up to your teenage years and all of these things. And she would just sprinkle in pieces of advice here and there. You know what I'm saying? Don't follow, choose your friends wisely, like all of these things, like, and those type of like things that she would say to me always like was like, damn, wisely. Okay, so who get money? Okay, who's doing creative things? Okay, who's doing, you know what I'm saying? So like when she said wisely, I have to think about those things. You know what I mean? So and don't gangbang. Those were her two things. Choose your friends wisely, don't gangbang. And so I'd never gangbang, but choosing my friends wisely was something that like she's like, because those are the people you're gonna follow, and those are the people who are gonna put you in, you know what I'm saying, the places that you want to be in the future. And
that makes me ask really, really quick. So not to be funny, but did you take words that literal early because like you later on grow into an auditory artist? The reason I'm asking, because coming from an overbearing parent, hearing nothing but direction while you sleep, as you wake, before you leave the house, you're getting text messages of more direction, just having direction everywhere. I tended to kind of like let some of those things go in one ear and out the other, and not really be dwelling on the efficacy of what was being told to me. But you, as simple as hearing make wise decisions, and then thinking about that, even though you don't have an overbearing parent that's drilling it into you. Right. I guess she trusted you enough to take it serious.
Right. Well, my mom
instilled
my mom instilled a certain type of trust that she had in us early on, because she would leave. I would watch my brothers, like, you know what I'm saying? Or my stepdad and my mom would leave, and I would watch my brother cook for them. We do, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So it always turned out to where it'd be like, yo, I can tell you this, you know what I'm saying? And then she wasn't one of those parents who be on you about everything. And so when she did say something, it was like, oh, okay, let me listen. You know what I mean? Because she's not strict. She's not like over my shoulder looking at everything that I do. It was more so like, yo, listen, you need to do this. Then you need to do this. Now go. You know what I'm saying? And it was just kind of like, oh, okay, bet. Like, you know what I mean? Those are the only things you're telling me. So these are the things that I'm going to take to heart and actually like, and then now look where I am. Like, right. You know what I mean? I'm still here on this earth. I made it to 27 years old, making wise decisions. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I'm just very appreciative of just those very, you know what I'm saying, tactic. Like I had that conversation even joining Love Culture. Like, Mom, choose your friends wisely. It's just kind of like, damn, is this a wise decision right now? Should I make this decision knowing where I want to go, knowing where I'm coming from, you know? And those are just like times where I'm just, man, like very thankful for those type of, that type of word of wisdom from my mom. So, yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm a firm believer in everything that has happened to us has put us in this exact moment. So I'm kind of right in the middle of what you guys talked about, where I had parents coming from Pentecostal background, religious background, raised at a Pentecostal church, had a lot of those religious beliefs instilled in me early on. Treat your neighbor as yourself, respect your mother and father, all those kind of things. There was a certain level of fear instilled in me early on to kind of keep me in line, some would say. But I also had the sensibility of, okay, go outside, don't come back until X, or go and just go. And I was allowed to make those decisions. So it really was, like I said, right up the middle, where a lot of those beliefs early on are still there with me. Again, the way I do business, the way I treat my friends, all those things, I can look back at things I was told when I was younger that still stick today. Watching my dad owned his own business from early on in my life. Basically,
that's crazy to get a sense to see what ownership looks like at such a young age.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
That's awesome as fuck.
And my grandfather as well owned his own appliance service. So he fixed washers, dryers, refrigerators. That was his specialty.
That's why you're so handy now.
Right.
You're a very handy person. Like, you know what I mean? That's one thing about Wade Saylor that a lot of people probably don't know how handy you are. Like, you and I, and you know what I'm saying, a lot of people that we work with help put things together. Like,
Right.
and that's one thing that I love about you as being a good friend of yours is just like, you will literally be like, well, damn, how can we do this just ourselves without having to buy it? You know what I mean? And that save us money so we can just do it ourselves. And that's something that I really appreciate because
Right.
from sound panels to creating fucking walls, like, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's just like, damn, bro, I'm glad I was in this situation because if I want to do it, I now know how to.
Right.
You know, so,
Right.
but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. So essentially watching my dad from young age as well. And that really played in heavy to the later on in life where it was, I did get those conversations of, well, what are you going to do with your life? Like that you have to be something, you have to a good job is a good job. You should take what you're handed, all those kind of things. And I had to have the pushback and the realization of, look, Dad, I've literally watched you and Papa run your own business your entire life. Until I work for myself, I will never be happy. Because it was start a new job, good pay, good benefits.
Move up a little bit.
Yeah. Hate my life, quit.
Raise.
Right. Hate my life, quit. Start a new job. And that's the other thing. Like, as far as seeking jobs out, like a lot of people think about it, but I never got a job without knowing someone. Without having a network. So that was instilled in me early on too, like build a network, find those people, reach out to people, find people that can help you do things and get things accomplished. And I try to bleed that out amongst the people around me. Like you were saying, like, how can we do this ourselves? How can we find somebody in our network to help us build this? How can we find
someone on the same path, just in a different lane.
Exactly.
That's really all it is.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Finding people that
it really is kind of the example to me of how small business should operate. Is not only learn as much as you can to be able to do for yourself, but also to be able to reach out to somebody on the same path, somebody moving in the same direction, to be able to say, let me feed into your business as well.
And so it's the even trade of energy too, though. You know what I'm saying? Even if I can't benefit you with rap, I benefit you with energy, benefit you with friendship, benefit you with all these different type of things. Now fucking a podcast. Shit. You know, just trying to put each other in positions to win, you know what I mean? And if that's not the goal, then I don't know what the fuck we're doing here.
Right. And for me, ideas and energy, like you mentioned, like the things that get put into things is you don't always necessarily need somebody that's going to break their back for you.
Right.
You don't always necessarily need somebody that gives something specific to what it is you're trying to do. Sometimes just having somebody that'll be like, yo, get your shit together. And sometimes that's all it really matters, whether it's with your partner, whether it's with your business partner, whether it's with somebody you bring into your circle or your network. Sometimes that's really all that's needed. I think me and you had a conversation is just getting the idea going. And once it's out there, now you've got to commit. You know, once you have somebody holding you accountable, and everybody holds people accountable in different ways. You know what I mean? Some people it's a phone call or a text, and some people it's I'm going to get down in the dirt with you. And we're just going to make this shit happen. But those people that we invite into that network, into that circle, I think it becomes difficult at times for us to open up and let their idea. We invited you here for a reason. The people you want in the studio with you are there for a reason. You know what I mean? The people that are on set with you are there for a reason. And sometimes I think as creatives, we do become
too self-reliant.
And blind to the fact that people can actually input while we're operating on 10.
That's crazy.
And a lot of times, at least I feel like you can attest to some of it. In my field, a lot of it is subconscious. Like just the other day, I had to help somebody with a lighting assistant hired to do a job. I'm there, and the creative, because I completely understand it, is barely utilizing me until I step in to make sure that they utilize me. Because I've seen you do it 1,000 times. I'm not sure if it's something that happens in the studio, but
absolutely.
With like visual artists, when we're on set, we've got so many calculations and gears going that everything else outside of us externally is kind of like mute. We know that we're there to catch a certain vibe, there to deliver a certain quality of work, there to also achieve technical just goals, and you could lose sight of that. You have help around you. There's also different things that you haven't looked at from this angle. So having creatives on set can be a catalyst if you're there presently enough to let it be a catalyst.
Right. And I've experienced in the studio with you, where we're bouncing things around, and we're going to structure this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then by the time it's done, after everybody that was again invited to the room,
right,
has had their input, it's structured 1, 3, 2.5, 6 and 8, and you don't even know where 6 and 8 came from.
Right. And completely different type of ideologies. And for I guess when you're asked to come to a studio, imagine, because I know, like you just said, being a lighting assistant and you're not actually shooting the shoot. Like I've been invited to studio sessions where it's not mine. I don't have a verse to lay, so I don't, to be in there and not think you're not gonna have some type of input. You know what I mean? Because you do this regularly. Right. You know what I mean? If you respected me enough to invite me, so it respect me enough to take in what I'm trying to say at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? Because I do exactly what you do, and now that I'm in a position to where it's not me recording, I'm literally on the listening side of it. And now I can hear for the flaws instead of I'm not hearing from me creating it. Yes. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, oh shit. Like, okay, cool. So that's very interesting because I have yet to, because I don't like people in this studio session with me. I just want to be me and the engineer, and now that's just a really different perspective because people invite me all the time. Right. I don't invite any fucking body. So like the people that I respect the most, I should just start inviting to the studio session so I can listen. You know what I'm saying? And get their feedback from, you know what I mean? Oh, you should do this, or you could do this, or you could do that. And I should just be able to take that in. So you guys just opened me up to something I wasn't even realizing.
100%. Even on the caveat, like you mentioned being hired out to come do something. So as somebody who has brought people onto things, it is very difficult as the person who is doing the hiring to go, oh, I need you to do this, or I need you to do this. So to insert yourself is a phenomenal situation because, like you said, a lot of times we've got so many things going on that we're just not even thinking about the idea that somebody else could lend to what it is we're trying to accomplish. I've also had situations where I've been hired where what I try to do, and it may be conflicting kind of what you were talking about, is I try to just be open. I'm here for hands. I'm here to literally for you to tell me what to get from the truck and when to bring it to.
Right.
And in some cases that works incredibly for the person that's on set.
Like, but when do you find that moment to where it's just like, oh, he's missing this? Like, you know what I mean? When do you find when moment do you know what I'm saying? For y'all, there's that moment of like light bulb, like, yo, you are missing this and you need to go get this. So you know what I mean?
So that's where it comes into play of like he was talking about is make sure they know you're there. And what you do is you start to essentially sprinkle that knowledge on the conversations. Hey, I was going to do this and I'm going to put this up here and I'm going to block this and I want to bring this light in over here. And then you go, yeah, but what about if we did this? And this is how I check temperature of a room. is you go, yeah, but what if we did this instead? And sometimes it's a technical thing. Sometimes it's a creative thing. Sometimes it's a safety thing. Like there's been instances where I'm like, yeah, but we need to do this to make sure nobody dies. Right?
Let's keep everybody alive as much as we can.
And in those cases, I'm not going to check the temperature. I'm just going to do it.
Right.
But in sometimes you check the temperature of the room and you feel
what
that
literally meant checking the light temperature.
No.
Yo, this is bro. Stop being so
I'll stop flexing.
Relax.
So no. You
I still don't know what an aperture is because nobody will explain it.
We explained it. We've explained it. But you check the temperature. You see what type of feedback somebody is susceptible to, and at that point, then you know. Again, if you're invited to the studio session or you're hired on to do whatever, or you just happen to be on set or in a room or,
you know what role you play.
Right. Yeah. And then you go, okay, now I know here's the line and I can't cross it. But up to that line, I'm going to insert the shit out of this thing.
No, I'm going to try to get as close to that line as possible.
Right. And try to make sure, because now I know, and it's not a necessarily a disrespectful thing or I got to put my flag on it. It's an experience thing. Right. So in the same vein, I've always found instances, this isn't a sometimes thing, always found instances where by me giving my input into something, the words coming out of my mouth are a learning experience. Have you guys ever had anything like that?
Yes. Yes. When you tell somebody something in that moment that you could also use as well, like when to further yourself. Absolutely. That's the wildest shit ever because as you're saying it, you're like, damn.
Light bulb.
Yeah, it's like, I shouldn't have said nothing. I should have kept that in the tongue. That shit is crazy.
How about you?
Well, I was going to agree with y'all. Another question I had, like, have y'all found that synergy, whether it's in your field or crosses over into another field? Reason I'm saying this because working with Chef Kenny that we all know, I helped behind the scenes with his food photographer, helped develop his cookbook. And just from being a photographer and also working with Chef Kenny in the restaurant for about 2 years, there's certain things that you start to anticipate in their needs. You know that this is what's coming up next, whether on the camera side or the cooking side. So you're able to like have those tools right there in front of them so they don't have to go searching for them. So it's kind of like you're just doing a mental dance with them, if not creative. Have y'all
trying to stay one step ahead of them.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you found that too translating?
Yeah, absolutely. More so in studio sessions for the most part. Like anytime, you know how like, and this is all like more so my lane is shit. Like I know somebody's about to, the type of song somebody's about to record when they invite me. You know what I mean? So when you go outside, it's like, yeah, no, I need to smoke real quick. And I know that your vocals are important for what's about to go on. I'm going to tell you, yo, no, do not do that until you finish what the fuck you're about to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because now you're affecting the quality of what it is that you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Shout out to my bro Prophet, because that's the type of music he makes. If I'm there, I'm like, let's not do that until after we get done with this, because if we do this at the highest degree, then let's celebrate with Smokey.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's not use it as a catalyst to what we're trying to do, because it doesn't benefit you within the same, you know what I mean, within the same vein, you know what I mean? So it's just staying one step ahead of the people that you're working with and making sure that they're making the necessary decisions for themselves and for the overall product that they're trying to put out. Right. You know, and that type of like thinking is just real. It's chaotic at times, yo. It really is. Do you ever go through that as well?
So synergy to me is all about being a sponge, right? Soak up everything around you, soak up the energy in the room, soak up the caveats that people have when they walk into a set or a studio or whatever the case may be. The figuring out, when you get to a point in a working relationship or a creative relationship where you can anticipate the next person's move and you can help facilitate the next person's move.
It's beautiful.
You have reached.
Yeah, that's beautiful as shit. Like that's beautiful.
It's incredible. And as like a lot of times I act as director on set. I act as the person who is taking all of the pieces,
the anchor,
and putting them together.
Really.
So when someone has the ability to take one of those pieces and make it slide across the table a lot easier, it's incredible for me. Mm-hmm. On the flip side, when I'm the person on someone else's project that gets to slide that piece so eloquently across the table, it feels amazing as that person. You go, man, I got the vision. I understand where they're headed. And now I get to help them put this puzzle together.
Right.
So yes, have I experienced it? Yes. And on both sides of the coin.
Yeah, definitely. Same. Do you ever get a chance to be on both sides of the coin as well? Absolutely. The people that you get to work with that make you feel that way, and you make somebody else feel that way as well, just the way it moves as smooth as possible.
And it's also helped me develop a standard of people to have around me.
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
that's a very interesting topic.
Because
please dive deeper into it. Yeah, please dive deeper into that.
Then you start to identify that this person has to at least be somebody that's timely, somebody that cares about, their appearance. We have professional appearances to keep up. Somebody that's going to take initiative or even care enough, if they're not getting paid or whether they are getting paid or not, they care enough about the end product of something that does not belong to them to give their input. And those people, those become your closest friends. Like, I'm not the most social person in the world.
You suck.
Right.
But right.
But hold on. As a friend.
Right.
You're 100% correct. Now continue.
But the people that are very close to me that I choose to spend my free time, which I greatly value, around, are those people that have shown me that in a professional light. Right. So, yeah.
That's very interesting. I think the quality of people around you is just, that's something that I'm going through right now, is assessing the quality of people that are around me.
I refer to the people that I've gathered as my collectibles. I very much view my network as trophies.
100%. 100%.
That's crazy.
Those people are few and far between. There are plenty of people that want to be a part. There are very few people that can contribute. And it's not
a very important word.
And it's not to say that they don't have anything to contribute. It just may not be something that contributes to what you're trying to put together.
Right.
And
if it was outside of that, then they could be perfect for the part of what they're trying to play.
Right. And there may be somebody in your network that person can contribute to.
Right.
No, facts. No facts.
So I never discount the idea that anybody is
a non-contributor,
replaceable. And I'll let you get it because I know.
Okay, y'all hurry up so I can get this shit off.
I'll let you. That anybody is
trying to be PC, kid.
No. It's that anybody is replaceable, and I say that because it's not that you're replaceable; it's that your place is somewhere else. You see what I'm saying?
That's
don't always got to be aggressive.
Right.
Sometimes it's that hook.
It's not that you're replaceable. It's just that your place is somewhere else.
That's crazy. No. Say it one more time. One more time for the people, because they need to hear what you just said.
It's not that you're replaceable. It's that your place is somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
And that's okay because I've found myself in many situations where I thought that I was contributing the utmost.
Yeah.
And that this could not go on without me. And then it did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's not where I was meant to be.
Right.
Now where I am could not continue if I did not show up every day.
Talk your shit, King.
So yeah.
Talk. You hear what he's saying?
She married to him.
He talking crazy. He may not talk this way to her though. He may not talk this way to her. I don't know.
So yeah. So again, go ahead. Unless I
cool.
just removed your words. Right.
Of course, you are
right.
A queen.
She's responsible for
it.
She's responsible for it.
A queen gonna always step. Make sure you getting yours together, man.
So,
listen.
So that's the big part there.
So you're better than a lot of fucking people. You're better than a lot of fucking people.
Thank you.
I'm better than a lot of fucking people. Let's stop with this bullshit. No. Because this is the part where I get aggravated.
This has gone from the project and reflect to the I am full of animosity podcast.
This has gone from the reflect to the project.
Right.
No, I think that what you guys do is to such a degree to where you can't have anything less around you because it literally diminishes the quality of what you're trying to put out. I'm trying to say that in the most politically correct way
you did.
possible.
And
correct.
I don't think you're wrong at all.
Okay, cool.
So I do believe that everybody has the ability to learn.
I'm not here. Go ahead. There's a disconnect.
Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Are you ready?
Please, I'm listening.
Everybody has the ability to learn. Not everybody has the ability to execute.
Not everybody has the ability to comprehend.
Or the capacity.
Everybody has the ability to learn something. But if I'm trying to teach you something and you're not comprehending it,
right? And that's why I said the ability to execute.
But execute can be taught. You can teach someone to execute. Yes, you can. I'm gonna give you.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm here. So there are certain artists that I've been able to teach and also teach execution to. Okay. Because they get on stage, start rapping over their vocals, you sound like a fucking idiot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cut the vocals
hold
off.
on. Can we pause for a public service announcement?
PSA? Go ahead.
Public service announcement. Please stop rapping over your vocals.
Please stop rapping over your fucking vocals. Nobody asked you to do that. Who the fuck asked you to do that?
Please,
we compare that to
please stop rapping over your vocals at shows.
Like, why are y'all doing that shit?
Please stop rapping over your vocals.
Stop doing that shit. Okay, but there are people who do it, but they never even thought about it until they seen me do it. They seen Love Culture not be on that shit. We never rap over our vocals. There might be ad-libs in the back of the track, but that's all me right there. Like, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it comes down to the comprehension. Understand what I'm trying to teach you.
Right.
So when we actually go to execute it, you are now like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there has been many a times where I've been on bills with someone and they're good, but they're rapping over their vocals. I'm like, bro, you ain't got to do that. Watch this. Right. And I get on stage and I do it to the highest degree. And they're like, I get why it's important not to do that. Because you're putting on a show for these people. All you need is the beat that you are rapping on. It's the if you ain't got the lyrics already ready, you ain't rehearsed enough to even be on fucking stage. Right.
So in our field, what we can compare that to is shooting in full auto.
Oh, okay. Absolutely.
Yeah. Stop
now
shooting.
I'm lost.
Also, photographers, videographers, cinematographers.
Please stop shooting on auto.
Do not shoot in full auto. And I sure somebody can comment and tell me otherwise, but I won't listen. No.
That's funny as fuck. I have no idea what that means.
Stop shooting in full auto.
Can you tell people what that means for the people?
Everybody that shooting in full auto is turning your camera to A on your little dial and just hitting a button. It's the equivalent of playing your vocals behind you. It's lazy. It's lazy. It's I don't know my tool.
Got you.
All of those things. Yeah, just please stop. Things in auto can be beneficial. Mm-hmm. In full auto,
on a vacation.
Right. Well, no. So there are arguments, and I do agree with the arguments of certain things being in auto can be beneficial for the sake of the shoot, for whatever it is specifically you're doing. Mm-hmm. The equivalent of having ad-libs, the equivalent of having backing track.
I'm glad you're the guest today. Go ahead. Continue.
But full auto is laziness.
It's nasty.
And vocals behind your rapping.
It's nasty.
It's laziness.
It's all lazy as shit. Like, you don't have
stop.
to do that. Like, why are you doing that? What's the purpose of having performance tracks if we're gonna rap over our fucking vocals? That makes no sense to me.
The people that rap over their vocals probably don't know what a performance track is.
Oh shit! You think that's is it?
There's
the
a
lack
lot
of
the
knowledge?
case. Lack of knowledge can play into it heavy.
I always thought it was just a lack of confidence.
Lack of confidence plays into it. It's not just the lack of confidence, but lack of confidence does play into it as well.
Huh?
I did have a question on that note while we talk about confidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rapper question. I got an outstanding rapper next to me. Do you feel like
outstanding?
And I'm him.
Timothy.
Him Hebo. Fuck you. Him Hebo.
Timothy Hebo.
The fuck? Go ahead.
Do you feel like in the studio is ego a tool that is necessary?
I think for me, ego is what I create through.
Okay.
I create through the source of my, you know what I'm saying, of my creative. The creative source for me is like God. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? God gives you everything. Mm-hmm. God gives you ego. God gives you all of these things. So for me, ego is something that I'm able to channel my thoughts through, to where if I want to make this rhyme, how can I make the bar hit crazier with something bigging myself up? You know what I mean? And that's how I write a lot of the things that I do. Is like, let me talk about myself. Let me talk about my crew. Let me talk about the things that I do. Let me talk about what I see, what I taste, what I smell, what I hear. All of these different senses that I'm able to do. That's all ego for me. You know what I mean? So I'm able to, you know what I'm saying, smell the blood on the floor as I hit you as you walk through the door. Like, it's one of those things where I can do it just off the top of my head. It doesn't really, I can't really, you know what I'm saying? So ego is just something, and that's not even a studio thing. Mm-hmm. That's more of something, like, I don't like writing in the studio because it's just too much pressure. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I like writing freely from home and then taking it to the studio and do my thing. You know what I'm saying? But from the inception of, okay, this is what I'm going to write to, ego just like takes the forefront, and it's time to create through that and actually use it as a tool instead of something to hinder you when you know what I'm saying, are talking to people. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not the best at taking my ego out of situations, don't get me wrong, but anytime you talk to me, there's a humility somewhere there. You know what I mean? When I can always accept when I'm wrong, I can always accept when, you know what I'm saying, somebody's trying to tell me something to benefit me. You know what I mean? And there's just that has to be taken out so you can be a good fucking person at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And that means more to me than actually being a good rapper.
Right.
Yeah.
So Kyle.
A lot of things about to unpack what you just talked about, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So for me, I feel like,
is there ever a time where you have to remove that from your
right? So that's so I feel like ego, in hip hop specifically, hip hop and rap music is almost a necessity. Mm-hmm. It was part of its birth. Mm-hmm. And when it is removed, you can almost see the fault lines.
Yeah.
In what it is.
Yeah. You get like that Coda the Friend music, like when you.
But even with him, there's because I know his music. There's still some ego there,
just a little bit.
Right,
there's a sprinkle,
right? And there's ego there of, this is my lane. I'm the only one that does what I does as well as that does what I do as that well as I do.
Does is crazy. I does what I does, nigga.
As well as I do it, right? The fact that you mentioned him. Like, that's a staple. There's nothing that looks like that. There's nothing that sounds like that.
Absolutely.
There's nothing that does what he
I hope that
does.
Didn't sound like in a negative connotation.
No.
I'm thinking more so to where like a lot of his music is kind of ego not focused.
Right. He doesn't. It's not necessarily that he speaks it. I believe that it has to be here.
Right.
It has to be in the heart.
Right.
That there is no option.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
There is no option but to have that. And I don't think anybody has success without it. However, that ego is shined in different ways. In music, the reflection is what's in the heart. In what we do, the reflection is holding the mirror up to the world. We have to have some sense of ego, some sense of confidence, some sense of, I know what I'm doing and I came here to do it. To be able to put someone in front of our lens and tell their story.
That's incredible.
We have to
showcase their ego. If that's what's being showcased.
Exactly. Even if it is, right? The execution of the ego has to be totally different. What you do doesn't operate without an engineer, without in some cases cinematographer,
Well,
You know, wait.
Go
Let me
ahead.
finish.
Okay,
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
But they are not even secondary. They are fourth place to whatever it is you've done prior to bringing them into the loop.
Okay, cool.
Right?
You were literally getting into what I was about to say.
That's
Go
why
ahead.
I told you
Yeah,
hold
okay,
on,
got you.
because I knew it. So again, they and yes, engineer. I'm sorry, don't be offended. They add so much to what it is that goes on. They essentially bring to life what it is you're trying to depict. But you have to do steps 1 through 10.
Yes, to even be able to present it to the engineer.
To an engineer. That's what I'm saying. They come 4th, 5th, 6th. You know what I mean?
My thing is like, and oh man, but a lot of people rely so much on engineers that, and I'm not gonna say that the engineer is not important. Let's not even
not important. They are.
I
so
would never.
important.
You know what I'm saying? Especially for today's.
It's
hip-hop.
1 and 2.
Yes, rapper, engineer. They're like, and then producer, because the engineer spends so much time on these vocals and shit like that. I don't need that type of shit. You feel me? My vocals are maybe a little compression, turn it down a bit, and I'm good to fucking go.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And I don't really need any. I'm not trying to sing to you niggas. I'm not trying to do nothing but punch your fucking head off your shoulders. I don't need all of this different auto-tune, none of that shit. But like, it's.
But wait for it.
You know what I mean?
Unless you gotta punch in a whole bunch because
I do have to punch in a whole bunch, but I also have a lot to say.
So your engineers click
merge, click merge.
So trust me, engineers, you get your credit.
Yes, absolutely. But once I learn it by heart and I've recorded it, I can do it with somebody putting a camera on it, like prop it up there, and I'll be able to do it straight through without even, you know what I'm saying, if need be. Right. But a lot of people are so engineer like. Reliant, yes. I was gonna say focused, but it's just reliant at this point to where it's almost to a fault. You know what I mean? And most times it's to a fault. You know, you get on that stage and the performance is not the same.
Right.
Yeah, it's just really bad, yo. Like I can stop crowds with it. I said, yo.
Right. And that's what I was kind of getting into is the idea that what you do could be done with just you and a microphone. Mm-hmm. And if you would stop being so lazy and take the time to learn how to produce yourself, you could do it.
I don't want to produce. I know, but like, I just really don't have the desire to produce. That's just my thing. Like, I could be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? It's beats out here that you can make, and it's just like, well, there are people making the beats that I want to rap on. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, and then
why?
Yeah, like the relationships that I have, I can get them for free or I can get them for very cheap. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I can still put out the product that I want to put out. So from now, I don't see the need to take that direction. You know what I'm saying? As I go further, sure.
I had to throw shade.
Yeah.
I had to throw some kind
of
shade.
Fuck you. But it's all good though.
But essentially what you do could be done by yourself. Mm-hmm. No microphone, no anything. Yeah. What we do is almost impossible without a team on a scaled level.
Facts.
We can do what we do by ourselves with
landscape,
a lot of sweat and a lot of tears and a lot of going into it. But we know that with a team, what we do is not only going to be refined, it's going to become better, but it's going to be much lighter on our shoulders to be able to achieve what it is we're trying to achieve.
Interesting.
So our ego
has to die a bit. It has to die a bit.
And essentially at the door.
Really reserved, I would say.
What?
I feel like our ego just has to be reserved for when it's needed.
Right.
A measurative is there to show up as who you were hired to show up as.
Or to show up not just as who you were hired, but who did the hiring.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you are in the sense of who did the hiring.
But I can't really say it's something that I've battled, but just making sure that I'm present enough and really capturing the essence of what my client needs to be captured. And it's not about me. It's not about this new angle I want to try, or the art is just so much not about me. In contrast to, rapping about how you feel.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So I want to challenge a little bit of what you said. Is sometimes what that client needs is unbeknownst to them.
Well, I guess,
and that new angle or that something. So this is I also do this in regard when we talk about always learning, always learning, never stop, and being that sponge is sometimes that new angle or that new method or that new something you want to try. You have to keep it in the pocket.
Absolutely.
Because not that it's essentially necessary for who you're standing in front of, but if you don't figure it out, it's going to stay in the pocket forever.
Absolutely.
Damn.
So same with rap, same with everything. Like art evolves. Right. Art evolves every day.
I don't like the word evolve though.
Okay.
Just because evolution doesn't always mean better.
Right.
It just
and
means change.
I mean, evolution. If you talk about evolution, we evolved from being able to start on fires and hunt our own food to not being able to do anything except go buy something from the grocery store. So I get what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right. So evolution isn't, some people treat evolution as this grandiose thing, but it isn't. But it does evolve. It does change. It changes on a regular basis. Yeah. It appeals to what is now in a lot of cases. You see trends. That's the big buzzword of today, whatever's trending. And as a music artist, auditory artist, as a visual artist, we are susceptible to those trends. Mm-hmm. Sometimes those try to creep into what we're doing. Even sometimes subconsciously, they try to creep into what we're doing. I've heard artists send me music and I'm like, that sounds exactly what came out yesterday. And they're like, no. I'm like, go back.
This is different. No, this is
go
different.
back and listen to it. Go back and the same thing with photography. Same thing with cinematography. You start to see whatever is on YouTube, whatever is on Twitter, whatever is on Instagram. That's what people migrate to.
So to
migrate is the word I want to migrate to.
So to ask you two a question really quickly, what does the trendy photography look like today?
I just was about to follow up with, are there certain requests in your inbox that you get? This is the type of art that I want. Can you produce this for me?
So I remember you telling me about something about a nigga in the moon.
Right. So
this same question, we was literally at my crib, like talking about this, bro.
And it's not.
So what? That's a great. Let me ask this question to both of you. What bullshit, trendy ass topics do people try to get you guys to shoot? That shit just hurt. Just moving my legs so fast. But that shit, you know what I'm saying? What are y'all getting as far as just those things where it's just like, bro, why are you asking for this?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So in regards to, I have had people specifically talk about things that are, I'm trying to think of that. Like I don't even, because I don't sit in it at all. So things that are getting the most views. Mm-hmm. Like when I talk about trending and when people approach me about trending, it's not necessarily a specific style. Mm-hmm. It's literally today. Like that shit changes every single day. You pull up, there's literally apps and websites dedicated to it now of what is the trending sound, what is the trending visual, what is the trending this, what is the trending that. So I do get some of that, and you try to steer people away from it a little bit. Depending on, because again, for us, we are trying to convey what it is they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. So it's not even necessarily what it is we're trying to do and what I want to create and what I want to build and what I want my legacy to be.
What I think is dope or what I think is tight.
Right.
Yeah.
So in some cases, we do have to bend, with a lack of better term is the word I got to use, to bend to what it is they're looking for. But what you try to do is influence just to okay, I get it. This is it. And we'll use the sound, but let's make it look different. Mm-hmm. And I get it. We'll do this look, but let's make it feel different. Mm. You know what I mean?
How is it? I want to ask really quickly, how does a photographer make something feel different?
I love that question.
Go ahead, because I can.
Please, because both of y'all, of course, I've worked with both of y'all, so like I know that you guys are able to make this happen. But what does that look like being behind the camera in the moment?
First, earlier, I should have prefaced in my speech that I have several types of clients that I work for, which breed or require different approaches that I shoot them with. So that can be, corporate clients, which is more so technical. You need me to come here and technically execute what I do.
It is steps 1 through 5.
Absolutely. So
and you do not deviate.
Right. This entire conversation is like dependent upon which client I'm talking about. But as far as your question, the feeling, the one or the main request inquiry that I do not want in my inbox is, can you take this picture like this? And it's like a picture of Kim Kardashian, you know what I mean? Like doing whatever she does. I am not awakened creatively or passionately if my subject has no soul to what we're capturing.
Right.
And that's how you make things feel different.
Talk to these niggas, bro.
There's a lot of fielding questions that I ask my clients, and I'm speaking more so on the creative side, the creative inquiries. What does this mean to you? What are you wanting to convey? It could even be as simple as, what do you want people to feel when they see these photographs? All those things. And then I have vision boards that I make up, and those, touch on your aesthetic references. A lot of the questions that I ask and a lot of my preparation work is to basically create a vibe or a feeling, and me going out into the field is to go capture that. Wow. But that's what I'm always looking for. That's when I get really roused up to photograph anybody or to be on any type of project, is if it has a soul to it, I'm going to show out.
I love to hear this nigga talk his shit. Go ahead.
So for me, as far as evoking a feeling, it's 100% reliant upon the client.
Mm-hmm.
It's what feeling are we trying to convey here? When I deal with artists, music artists, it's what does the song say? Mm-hmm. And not just verbally. What do the chords say? Mm-hmm. What is the emotion? What is it behind it? And in some cases, it's what is the emotion behind it? All right, let's do the exact opposite. Mm-hmm. And that is going to create the most compelling visual.
That's very interesting.
The juxtaposition of what it is they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. So really it boils down to creative decision making on my part to make sure not just what are they trying to convey, but what is going to convey what they're trying to convey in the best way. Mm. So when it comes to a technical side of things, when you talk about the 1, 2, 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I'm just so proud of him.
He's so stupid.
This guy's just started recording weird conversation.
What's
up with the
when we talk about the steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like lighting changes things, angle changes things. Mm-hmm. The movement in my field, fortunately, I get to use movement. Mm-hmm. In photography, you're trying to simulate movement with a still image, and it's
you can slowed shutter, but it's
right. So again, props off. He doesn't know.
I have no idea.
But even the movement of the camera can change what the mood of the scene is. Mm. So those things are all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow.
At the end of the day, again, it's creative choice. It's hearing what it is. It's because I don't ever think we'll have our interpretation. I don't think we'll ever fully understand what it is an artist specifically, regardless of what their field is wanting to create.
Yeah.
It's trying to have an understanding of what they're trying to create and bring that to light as best as possible.
I think that's what's most important about all of it, is just having the understanding of what's trying to be portrayed.
Right.
And being able to, because you guys, I feel like when you guys get an idea of what someone wants to do, you're able to portray it. Because I've worked with both of you guys trying to do things that I wanted to do, and both of you guys were able to, you know what I'm saying, when we did Heisenberg, when we did like one of our previous shoots, it was able to be captured exactly the way that I wanted to, because you guys, one, have a foresight of who I am, right, and we also all have a rapport of, you know what I'm saying, who I am as well, and just being able to, you know what I mean? So is it important for you to already have a rapport with someone that's you know what I'm saying, previous that's outside of creating. You know what I'm saying? Because we are actually fucking friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just chill and watch the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. Like, if you have that rapport with someone, is it easier to create with them that way? Or is it easier to create with people who are just completely new and you know what I'm saying, you don't know?
So I've got two things to that. Sure. I've got two things. Sure. The answer is
it's the both of y'all, by the way.
Right. Yeah. The answer is yes.
Okay.
I feel like when you have a ongoing, we talked about it earlier, the synergy of things. Yeah. When you have an ongoing creative relationship, it becomes, in some cases, second nature to create with somebody. My follow-up to that is we don't always have the commodity of having a long working creating relationship with somebody. Right. From a music standpoint, from a photography standpoint, how do you get that relationship going and chemistry going as fast as possible?
Well, I think you just stand on it. Like how you feel about certain, let's say you're working with another photographer on this, yo, this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I need you to show me what you do so we can come to a common ground and make sure that this is, you know what I'm saying, that how this works and make sure that this is fluent.
If they're not gatekeeping, like we talked about in the previous episode.
Gatekeeping? If we working on the same project, if we working on the same project, nah. If we working on the same shit together, my thing is this: if we working on the same shit together, if I got a verse and you got a verse, my nigga, you can't gatekeep something that we both working on.
This brings up the importance of being open to not gatekeeping, so that we can create these spaces where creatives are boosted.
I don't agree with that either, though.
You just did.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I think what you're saying is literally a specific situation in comparison to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that because a lot of the artists that I really like, I'm gonna mention the name. I don't. Whatever. Intricate himself puts him.
Don't whatever Intricate. We've talked about Intricate on other episodes. Intricate doesn't deserve a whatever. Intricate is fucking phenomenal.
And no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying no. I mean, when I feel like he'll go rap with people he doesn't need to rap with. Right. You know what I'm saying? I feel like because of his love for creating, his love for actually rapping, I feel like he'll go rap with niggas who don't deserve to be in the same room with him. You know what I'm saying? Because that's to me is why gatekeeping is very important, because this guy is going to take this song and it's going to be the highlight for what he does for the longest, and he's never going to do anything more.
So this is the understanding of gatekeeping.
Are we back in it? Okay. Hold on. Whatever.
No, and this may be because some of what you just said is for me, there's a difference in gatekeeping and choosing who you invite to your space.
Okay, and I get it.
Fair enough. So I do feel that way. I feel like for me, like I said earlier, is no one is replaceable. This just isn't
your place.
Mm-hmm. So real. I can give anybody the steps 1 through 10 on how to do something, and the who to send it to and the
who to talk to,
without letting them affect what I'm doing creatively in any way, shape, or form. I don't think because when I see gatekeeping, I see it as just that information that is held behind a barrier, in fear of someone else taking your spot. That's my definition of gatekeeping.
I reached.
So for me, I can tell you what aperture is without the idea of you taking aperture and using it against me in any way, shape, or form.
Because I'm definitely going to do that.
You can't, and that's where like we talk about ego and things of that nature is. And some label it as ego, some put negative connotation on ego, all those things. For me, creativity doesn't exist without some of it. And my creativity is not your creativity. What you're going to do with steps 1 through 10 is never, and not from a quality or a how good or anything like that. What I do, you are never going to do what I do. And that's not a I'm better than you. That's the idea that creativity is not this. Creativity is this.
Nah.
Listen, you can't tell me that. You can't even, just in hip hop, just in rap, you can't tell me that rap and creativity and the music that comes out of people's mouths and comes out of people's fingers and comes out of people's souls is this, and it's not this.
I'm not saying that. I'm more so saying that what I do is more polished than what you do,
and that's fine.
That's why I wasn't reacting to that. I was reacting to saying that something may not be better or quote unquote.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
I'm
like,
saying
what you do is better than what a lot of niggas do. Let's
fine.
keep that a buck. Like what Rakim does is better than what a lot of niggas do.
Right.
What I do is better than what a lot of niggas do. You see my collar? Pop it.
And
you know what I'm saying? I'm him.
And I can't speak for you.
So are you.
I can't speak for you, but there's still people out there that I see. And again, as just the same way creativity is this, and who I look up to is this. Creativity is not this, but who I look up to is this.
That's very fair.
And who I see in front of me, I know they're better than me. In some cases, it's no, they're better than me from a steps 1 through 10, because they've been doing steps 1 through 10 longer than I have, or they figured out how to
tools and everything.
They figured out how to perfect steps 1 through 10 better than I have, and then in other cases, it's the creativity. It's not that they truly are better than me. It's that I view what they do creatively better than me.
Interesting.
And it's something that I admire.
Interesting.
It's not something that I go, I got to beat this.
Right.
I got to do. It's whatever you're doing, whatever.
It's inspiration.
Whatever brain cell made that happen. Holy shit.
Yeah. Interesting.
Holy shit.
Interesting.
So listening to your ideology and ism, so to speak, how often would you say that you're inspired by other artists?
Other artists, I'm quite inspired by other artists, whether it's me realizing, damn, I'm so much better than him, let me prove it, or damn, he's really good, let me try to meet that level of things. So I'm very inspired by other artists. It just always manifests itself in different ways. And I'm just really happy that it does.
Right. So you say different manifests in different ways. So you said hearing them, am I better? Is it this? When you're listening to music, what do you find inspiration in? Where obviously you have a specific vein that you live in. Do you find inspiration outside of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I love different genres of music. Like, I often don't really listen to rap unless it's coming from like some of my favorites. A random artist can't put out a project and I'm just going, oh, let me go see what that's like. You know what I'm saying? Random rapper can't do that for me. I'm typically listening to R&B or alternative, music, because I find more calming, soothing methods of that, which are more inspirational for me to create from a calm, soothing place. So I listen to those for that type of energy because it's better to create from that type of energy for me. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like listening, because you're specifically in rap and hip hop, do you feel like specifically listening to any artist influences what you do when you record or write?
Well, it depends on how.
Cadence-wise
Yeah,
and
no, it
things like
depends on how often you listen to them too. For me, like, I can't listen to a lot of Earl. I can't listen to Earl Sweatshirt for too long because I start to like mimic the cadence, mimic the tone, or mimic the overall type of, like, you know what I'm saying? Then it becomes like I'm such a fan that like now I become an imitator. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of what hip hop was built on was us imitating what came before us.
That's art.
Then really, you know what I'm saying, imitating what came before us and then putting our own spin on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where you can create from over here, but then you're saying this is so overbearing. There's damn, I have to pull from this because like this is gonna push my art to the next level. and now it puts you in a certain type of field to where it's like, damn, it looks like to me, well, to the naked eye, it's like, damn, this is completely new. But to me, it's just like, no, I got this from over here. Right. I just added my own, you know what I'm saying, flavor to it.
So you kind of said it there, and then we'll get back into inspiration. Do you feel like as visual artists, we have to look at something and develop that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we can branch off? Or do you feel like something can be derived from nothing?
I don't feel neither one of those.
Okay.
They both have truth, but I think that myself can create just from how I'm feeling. It could be a memory, it could be a scent, and the reason I'm saying that, like being inspired by different sensories, is, you know, I can appreciate a certain cologne and come up creatively in my mind about a campaign ad for it. Wow. On how to, you know what I mean? So I feel what you're saying, but it could be created from nothing, emotion, reference, really just what your mind comes up with,
right,
to illustrate it.
So for me, I cannot do what I do today without listing the directors that inspired me early on.
No, facts.
Which is very important.
Right. Without Tarantino, without David Fincher, without Christopher Nolan, without the Coen brothers, without...
Did the Coen brothers do... no, those were the Wachowski brothers that did The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Yeah.
So without the Wachowskis and no longer brothers.
No longer sisters. Yeah.
Sisters. But without the Wachowskis, I don't do what I do today. Mm-hmm. That being said, I don't do what I do tomorrow without the inspiration specifically from photography, no one specific, and visual art. And I say visual, let me bring that, digital art. Mm-hmm. My inspiration 100% comes from scrolling Twitter and scrolling Pinterest and looking at stills, not motion pictures. Mm-hmm. Looking at stills and then trying to reverse engineer how they created what they did and how can I apply that to what I want to shoot.
Interesting. Very interesting, actually.
Yeah. So kind of inside baseball, that's where I get, I would even put it at 95% of what I want to do. Storytelling, all those kind of things, that comes from all different walks of life. That's a huge part of cinema. It's a huge part of what I do. But visually, I can't tell you on 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 hands the amount of photography and digital art that's inspired me. Where when it comes to cinematography, I could probably break it down to 5 to 10 major references that I've been like, oh, that's something at.
What's your favorite Tarantino film? I'm on your ass.
So with Tarantino, it's
I need one.
And this is the what some people would see as a cop out. Every new work that he puts out becomes my favorite.
You didn't like that last one,
no,
as much as the one with Leonardo DiCaprio and
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
You didn't like that as much as you like something like Reservoir Dogs.
So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, to me, and he's explained it as this, and I saw it as this. It was a love letter to film. It was a love letter to film. It was a love letter to, and you can roll your eyes all you want.
I'm just looking around and see if anybody else is buying that.
But it was just that. It was all of the intricacies that go behind what it is that we do. So from a did it grab me and hold me visually or storytelling wise or this or that through the entire thing? No. Did it grab me emotionally and have me hooked from frame one?
Fair
Absolutely.
enough. I will agree with that.
So from a story standpoint, I would have to say my fondness for the Kill Bill should have been one film turned into two. My fondness for Kill Bill, it was way too long, and due to the rules of society, we had to break it into two. But Kill Bill, fondness-wise, I can go back and watch that again. But there is not a film that he's made or that he's been in some way, shape, or form a part of, even when you talk about Dusk Till Dawn.
That was a great film.
He was in it.
That was a great
Robert
film.
Rodriguez did it.
Mm-hmm.
There are tons of things that he does that inspires me to this day, with every piece of work he puts out. But that's where my list is when you talk about Christopher Nolan, there's not a film that he's done that hasn't inspired me. That's why they're on the list. David Fincher.
What did Christopher Nolan do?
You've got first film that you can actually go watch The Following, all the way down to Tenet. You got the Batman trilogy with Christian Bale, Dark Knight,
Dunkirk.
Batman Begins, Dunkirk, Inception.
He did Inception?
He did Inception.
I fuck with bro.
Interstellar.
I fuck with bro.
Interstellar. So, again, from a cerebral standpoint and a storytelling standpoint, the man is unmatched, in my personal opinion.
Because this nigga still dreaming?
Right.
Man,
So, and then you have David Fincher. David Fincher, you've got Seven. You've got Fight Club. You've got The Room. You've got The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
He did Benjamin Button?
Right.
Damn.
So
Button is different, though.
Again, nothing specifically that they've done. It's the body of work that they presented.
But there are these films that separate them from, you know what I'm saying,
right.
the regular, and I don't want to say regular director, because there's no such thing as a regular director.
No, there's there's directors that prey on society that literally
exactly.
So there's regular directors.
And you get what I meant when I said that. But like at the same time, it's just there's this degree of separation that these guys have in comparison to the field.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yeah, I didn't know who these fucking directors were until you just said them.
Right.
But yeah, no, they separate themselves with just the movies that they've directed, like by themselves. Like, yeah.
Absolutely. And then even from an action standpoint, like if you were going to talk about that, the Russo brothers, so the big films, the Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Captain America, did they do Winter Soldier and Civil War?
Oh, them niggas nice.
And then you have their Netflix stuff. They just released The Gray Man, which I haven't watched yet, but I'm
heard
looking
that that's
forward
pretty
to
good. Yeah,
it's great.
I'm hearing that it's really good. You seen it?
Yeah.
So
really
from an action standpoint, they can do no wrong. You know what I mean? So again, I think from a big standpoint is I try to find the inspiration. What is the niche of what it is you're trying to do? When we talk about art, it's here. Your niche is here, but you can use that niche from here to here. And what is it that you're trying to convey? And if you do what it is you're trying to convey well, I'm going to find inspiration in it. And that's just because I aspire to be able to do what it is you do. So and like I said, for me, for film, there's a handful of instances where I go, that makes me want to shoot something.
Right.
Where with photography, I don't know the photographer. I don't know the digital artist. I don't know what method or what. And I would look at it and I go, I want to be able to recreate that in film. I want to be able to do whatever that is with my medium. I want to be able to portray the emotion that I felt, not what they were trying to convey. This is when it gets selfish. The emotion that I felt when I saw it, the ideas that it sparked when I saw it, and the way that it moved me looking at, and in some cases, those three things come across in seconds.
Yeah.
And sometimes it happens the 4th or 5th or 20th time I've seen it.
Yeah.
And that 20th time you see it, you go, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I get where this is, like, where this came from, the inspiration.
And that goes all the way back to Salvador Dali, all the way to somebody's art that I saw on Twitter that I have no clue who they are, and I have no clue where they're from or what their process is. But that shit was beautiful, and it inspired me to do something tomorrow.
So on that note, who is Wade Saylor, and what does Wade Saylor mean?
So, drink first.
Drink first.
Who is Wade Saylor? Drink first. So Wade Saylor has a tagline. Our tagline is "Make it home safe." That breaks down to, as artists, as creatives, as human beings, we all have something we call home. When I'm in the studio, I feel at home. When I'm behind a camera, I feel at home. When I'm with my kids, I feel at home. When I'm in silence, in candlelight, I feel at home.
Drink to that.
Right?
That's crazy.
Everybody has that. And at Wade Saylor, the slogan is "Make it home safe." So as a sailor, their main job is to make it home safe. The Wade part comes into play, that we all have things that crash against the boat. We all have things that slow us down. We all have things that come in our way. The anchor drops, the seas get stagnant, the wind dies down. But at Wade Saylor, we want you to make it home safe. So creatively, whatever that means for you, we want you to get there.
So get to the point to where you're comfortable safely, consistently.
Right. Because you're going to have things that slow you down.
Right.
You're going to have things that stop you. You're going to have life. We all have life. And if you let that get in your way, just know that there are other people on the boat that can help you get over that.
Right. You're not
You know
alone.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where the name really derived from. I was sitting in a cubicle, hating my life. I was sorry to many of you possibly listening. I was collecting student loans. I was the scum of the earth, and I hated every minute of it.
Shout out to the scum of the earth, man.
Shout out to the scum of the earth.
We really out here.
And I got in a notepad. I started scribbling, started drawing, started putting things together, wrote names down, did all this. I started working with a few local artists that essentially inspired me to the idea that this box is not all there is to life. A check is not all there is to life.
Facts.
And Wade Saylor came down, and it really was, there was nothing behind it at the moment. I wrote it down. I drew a sailboat with an anchor underneath it.
That shit hard.
Right. No clue where I was going. And as the weeks and days moved on, as things continued to unfold, the other names I wrote down didn't stick. The other names that I wanted to apply to the ideology of what I was trying to do didn't stick. And the story of what Wade Saylor actually is started to come to fruition. So that's how that breaks down. Essentially, it was, we've all got our shit. We all have to deal with it. And in all honesty, there's a network of people out there that are going to help you get over your shit. And I want to be a part of that network.
Wow.
That's where that came from.
That's very interesting. I think I remember you sending me a flyer when we first kicked it, just of you know, like an open mic night or some shit like that.
Yes.
And I literally only got on that shit because of the name that was on it. It's like, it said Wade Sailor. I was like, that sounds interesting enough for me to, like, be a part of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I got on there, I rapped, I did my thing, and, like, it was cool. It was very well received, and I don't know, man. Like, from there, it was just real interesting to see how things moved from here to where we are today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The steps that were involved and the hardship that we have fucking gone through for the so goddamn long, to where it's, I don't know, I'm very grateful for you sticking to the plan of what you know what I'm saying, envisioned, and you know what I'm saying, you being able to put that all of that shit into fruition. Like, you know what I mean? That shit is real dope and real inspirational at the end of the day, bro. And keep fucking inspiring people, bro, because like you're doing something really incredible, winning fucking competitions and shit that we knew you were gonna fucking win. Like, nobody who was on your side that night ever had a doubt that he was gonna win that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so we were gonna just, you know what I'm saying, like, be there for you and make sure that, like, I was in attendance and just making sure that I was just in place when that shit was gonna happen, because that type of shit is important. And now we're gonna run shit up, bro. We're gonna punch people in the face with what the fuck we're trying to do. You know what I mean? And for me, that's
the
important.
Violence is exemplary.
Yeah, no, bro, that shit is important, bro. Because like, I hate the fact that people just see shit as videography or photography or just rap and it's not that. It's just asserting a certain type of dominance that we know that we have,
and it's heart and soul in it.
Yeah, bro, it's so much effort.
There's years and years and years,
man,
that go into what it is we all do. And I want everybody to understand, it's not that you've been in it for 10 or 20 or whatever the case may be that makes it is who you are. It's that you made it through year one, and then you made it through year two, and that you kept going and going and going and putting those blocks in front of it. And whether you're on year one or you're on year 20, you need the people around you.
Always. The formula stays the same.
Exactly.
Always.
And
you know what I mean?
And again, we talked about ego, we talked about those things. That stuff has to stay in you. You have to stay confident in what it is that you're doing, or else. And we talk. You can't even get out of the car to go to the thing that it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that in you to be able to do that. But the idea is that you can't do it without the people around you.
Wow.
You can't do it. The waves are going to come. The anchor is going to drop. The wind in the sail is going to quit. And you're going to have to slow down. But it's the people on the boat. It's the people that are behind you. It's the people that are going to lift you up in the darkest of pits that are going to make you get to that next level, that are going to help you get to the next level, but make you get to that next level.
Wow.
And you got to lean on those people. You got to lean on those people all day long. We all got dark days. We've all got pits. We've all got downfalls. Life happens. Cars get repoed. Insurance gets declined. Bills get...
Licenses get suspended. And the plague of the starving artist tries to get at you. But just understand, like, there's... and that's another thing I say to people all the time, is there's enough money out here for everybody. Absolutely.
There's a stupid amount of money out here for everybody. And all you got to do is just keep grinding it.
Yeah, it's application.
Put pen to paper, as some would say. Put nose to the ground.
Rubber to road.
Rubber to road.
Shit,
all
that
of the shit.
Just go do it.
Just go do it. And if you don't, closed mouths don't get fed.
Facts.
If you don't open up and say, hey, I'm doing this thing and I need people to be on board with it, love culture. If it wasn't for the fact of us saying, hey, this is what we want to see on the other side of this, we would love for you to be a part, you'd have never shown up. You'd have never even thought about it.
Right.
But it takes putting that out there. It takes getting that started. It takes this podcast, right? You were like, hey, we want to do this thing. I got to meet you. Right.
Right.
Our journey has gone crazy.
Yep.
it's just putting it out there. The idea that the universe owns everything and it's not yours until you grab it.
Right.
You might have the idea, but it's somebody else's too until it's yours.
And it's all just putting your best foot forward, bro. Like,
you can't have it without it.
Putting your best foot forward and just letting the universe, like, you know what I'm saying, meet you halfway. That's really all it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? And do you have anything else for
can I
Please, go ahead.
even instead of halfway, just letting it give it to you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cases where we've got to meet it halfway. We got to meet it 75% of the way. Mm-hmm. We got to meet it 99.9% of the way.
And then sometimes we only got to meet it 10.
That's the rubber to road. That's the grind your ass off. That's the wake up tomorrow morning knowing there might be nothing for you and you got to find it.
Yeah.
And then you only have to meet it 5 or 10% of the way, where all you got to do is have preparation,
just
and opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what that means, right? We all know what that equals. Preparation. That's the mornings of waking up and doing shit you don't want to do because you have to do it because you know it's going to bring your dream to life. Mm-hmm. And if you can't do that, you're not going to make it. But that doesn't mean that there's going to be days where you can just go, hey, universe.
I'm outside.
I've been doing this thing. And something's just going to go, bam, and hit you in the hand. And if you don't close fast enough, that shit is going to go to somebody else.
Yep.
It's going to go to somebody else. It's raining so hard outside right now.
It is raining so hard outside right now. Do you have anything else for Wade Saylor, bro?
I just want to end off on that. I whole soul appreciate Wade Saylor and all that you are, all that you represent, and all that you've influenced my direction and everybody in this room.
Yeah, man, definitely, bro.
Anything else that Wade Saylor wants to, put out into the air for us to look forward to?
So right now, my end goal has always been documentary work. Mm-hmm. It's always been telling stories. It's always been getting things out. I love all the things that I do, but what I'm passionate about is telling stories. Mm-hmm. I don't want to put a narrow path on what those stories are. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Everyone has a story, and that story can speak to anybody that could be watching. Mm. And I just want to make sure that those get out there. Mm. So I've been kind of on a catalyst moving towards documentary filmmaking. I've been working that way. Again, we did this here. This was stepping stone one of what's to come from Wade Saylor and what I'm trying to do, not only for me and my family, but for the city of Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. There are stories that have been hidden under stones for decades and centuries about this city. Mm-hmm. We've got some of it. We get little pieces here and there. Mm-hmm. We get some falsehoods here and there of what this city is and what this city can be. Mm-hmm. And I believe in it wholeheartedly. I have been through the turmoil of, well, do I want to move? Do I want to go this? Do I want to do that? Absolutely not.
I feel like that's a moment where everybody kind of like is able to like look in the mirror as like, yo, what's the next move that I should make right now? You know what I'm saying? As far as the city, should I get out of it? Should I just go harder in it? Should I, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things, those mindsets that actually like kind of happen on a real time basis.
And I do take people leaving personally. I don't hold it against anybody for wanting to leave. I comprehend the idea of wanting to leave. I take it personally when people do leave because I want Jacksonville and Duval County to be that place that people can stay and that people can breed creativity and breed ideology and breed future and generational wealth. I want it to be that. So I take it personally when people leave. I don't hold it against them as a person. Mm-hmm. But every single person I see on Twitter, every single person I see on Instagram, or whatever the case may be, that's like, oh, I'm headed to Orlando or Miami or Atlanta, or I'm moving to L.A. I've got all of those. You people in prison, they got the check marks on the wall, how many days I got to get out. Mm-hmm. Every single person that I see that leaves is a mark in my brain to go, all right, we got to do better. Damn. We got to do better. Mm-hmm. We got to do better. Wade Saylor has more work to do. Mm-hmm. We've got more stories to tell. We've got more ground to lay. We've got more structures to put up to ensure that the creative backing of this city supports the artists that are birthed here. Wow. And I don't think anybody can argue the fact that we have a hotbed of creativity.
Facts.
We don't have yet the ability to cultivate that creativity and make it stay here. Mm. And that's really, for me, when I talk about Wade Saylor, that's the main goal. Is give everybody 4 walls and a roof that they never, ever think about, do I need to go to Atlanta? Do I need to go to L.A.? We've had so much talent in general get pulled from our city and claimed for somewhere else, and claimed for another record label, studio, production company. We've had so much of that pulled from this city that, again, for me, it's the mentality of, as in the artist mindset, that I've got to go where I can get it. Mm-hmm. And that just tells me, like I said, we just don't have it here yet.
Wow. Dog, with that being said, shake my hand, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We really appreciate you coming on. I mean, we are in
Wait. I got one more thing to plug.
Man, hell no.
Let me plug one more thing.
Go ahead, please.
It's our podcast anyways. Like, I plug all the things. I would like to plug this coaster. No. I would like to plug this
coaster.
No. So, also, another thing everybody's aware of. Currently, me and Rakim are working on a collab, Wadeism. So, Wade, I explained to you guys what Wade Saylor is, and the idea that we all have these things crashing against us. Mm-hmm. Wade in Wadeism is actually the opposite side of the coin. Is it's not what's crashing against you, but it is what you are. It is the weight that your art carries. So we are actually working on a collaboration right now.
What the fuck? That shit sound hard, don't it? Shit, all right.
It's a collaboration right now. We're going to be releasing clothing. We're starting off with shirts. We're starting off with functional apparel for creatives, specifically in our fields.
By creatives.
You said what?
Said for creators by creators.
For creators by creators. Looking at things that you can use as photographers, as cinematographers, on set, as you move throughout with clients and things of that nature. So do be looking out for that. Mm-hmm. Wow. We're working on that as well. So like I said, Wadeism is not the negative connotation that Wade holds in Wade Saylor. Wadeism is the weight that you hold in your art. And for us, the creatives that we've connected with and put into our network, and the creatives that are just on the outside of our network that we hope to bring into our network, you hold weight in everything that you do. Wow. And keep holding that.
Damn.
That's it. That's all I got.
Do you stand behind that product as well?
Absolutely.
The same ideology.
Absolutely. This product is shit.
I'm just asking with the same ideologies. I want to make sure, because like project and reflect sometimes don't project with what everyone's thinking. It's really just one person who's thinking this. So I just want to make sure that, like, you know what I mean, you're on board with that as well, man. That shit, because it sounds really cool. You know what I mean?
It really is. You should be a part of it.
Yeah, let it be. You know what I mean?
Let it be known. Let it be known that anytime you see ism behind a noun or in a powerful person, as Wade Saylor, Kyle, that it's highlighting and acting as a mirror, if you will. Basically just the soul, reflecting the soul of, who I work with.
Wow.
So absolutely, I stand behind it.
Well, once again, thanks
It's
for
good
coming
shit.
on. I'm not shaking your hand again. I shook your hand already once. Good to see you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's just great to have someone like close that, you know what I'm saying, you kind of experience everything that I've gone through, and you know what I'm saying, all the bullshit that I went through in my life, and which kind of a lot of it happened under your roof. So like, it's just one of those it's just one of those things where it's like, man, I'm just very happy to be a good friend of yours and Kita's, and you know what I'm saying, just making sure that like I continue to keep that relationship as fruitful as it has been for me, you know what I'm saying, as far as a creative and as a man as well, you know what Absolutely. I mean, as a human, having a human experience. You guys have been very instrumental in me growing and being just the best person I could be at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So I thank you, I thank Kita, you know what I'm saying, I think Wes, like, you know what I'm saying, Rakimism, excuse me, you know, it's just been very fruitful for me, bro, like, you know what I mean, I want to continue to be that way, man. So
Absolutely.
Thank you again, man.
Absolutely.
For real.
Absolutely.
You know, now get the fuck out of here.
This has been Project and Reflect with your hosts, Flash and Samurai, Rakim, aka Rakimism.
And we've had our guest here today, Wade Saylor, Mrs. Wade Saylor in the background, being cool and courteous and awesome as possible. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you guys again, man. This shit is
Absolutely
awesome, man. Thank
Absolutely. Beautiful day.
you. Beautiful day.